Hi, this is Gautam. For today's episode, we're going to look at this book, The Mahatma and this Ism, written by author EMS Namboodiripad. Now, if you're interested in books on Indian history, do look at the description for the playlist. The author EMS Namboodiripad was one of the tallest leaders of the communist movement in India, having served as the Chief Minister of Kerala twice. This book is essentially a compilation of material written between the years 1955 and 1956. In the New Age Monthly, after Mahatma Gandhi's 8-volume biography was published by D.G. Tendulkar. The author chooses a chronological pattern to analyze how Gandhi's policies has evolved. Now, I think most of you would know that before participating in the Indian freedom struggle, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, before he became the Mahatma, had worked for more than 20 years in South Africa on the ground. He fought for the rights of several Indians who were forcibly migrated outside the Indian subcontinent to work as indentured laborers. So in South Africa, the author writes that it was the movement which was led by Gandhi was predominantly driven by the poor people, and it was more of an all-class movement. This all-class characteristic was mostly absent once Gandhiji comes back to India and leads the freedom struggle here. Now, this presence of class difference, the author writes, is because of the structure of the Indian National Congress. Because during the freedom struggle, the Congress had participation from the wealthier class, industrialists, and landlords. So, Indian freedom struggle, as in, had this dichotomy or this class difference between the upper and lower echelons of the society, and that led to many pitfalls in the movement, is the author's observation. Author E.M.S. Namboodiripad writes that the two important movements which was launched by Gandhi, the non-cooperation movement of the 1920s and the civil disobedience movement of the 1930s, both of them did not incorporate the needs of the peasants and the poor. The author also goes on to point out that during this hiatus in the national movement, for example, there is a period between 1924 to 1928, and even after the suspension of civil disobedience movement post 1934 until the Second World War, even though Gandhi was not the leading the national scene, he was more oriented towards focusing on social and spiritual objectives like Khadi, upliftment of Harijans. The author writes that one way or the other, Gandhi was always in the forefront, that he was consulted by the Congress workers, and his opinions was always given priority. Now, even though Mahatma's policies and his Gandhism is criticized, author definitely appreciates the fact that Mahatma Gandhi made sure that he respected and made sure that he incorporated all the segments of the society. The author writes not even one segment of the society was left outside the purview, and the importance given by Gandhi for the spread of national movement by using languages which are spoken in India, which is not restricted only to the intellectual class like English. Moreover, the tenacity to hold on to each and every member of the Congress and not to allow different sections and ideologies to disperse outside the Indian National Congress movement. Except there was a blip where the author writes about how Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's differences and Mahatma Gandhi's differences could not be reconciled, and Subhash Chandra Bose had to leave the Congress working committee and then start his own mission, Forward Bloc. The final part of the text is about the shortcomings of Gandhism, and it is more of you can say, a sad observation. Even though Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi had really tried his level best to spread the principle of non-violence and satyagraha, it really did not prevent the population from fighting against each other in the name of religion during the last 2 to 3 years, which eventually led to the partition of India between 1945 to 47, a series of events which resulted in the culmination of creation of West Pakistan, East Pakistan, and the present political boundary of India. So the author writes, where exactly did it go wrong? Like, if your principle of non-violence, which Gandhi preached, had been more than 20 years, it really did not result in people appreciating the importance of the principle. And second thing is, Gandhi might have overlooked the fact that people are power hungry and they will continue to fight for power, and that happened within the Congress too. And finally, the question of truth. Talking about Gandhi's autobiography, the story of my experiments with truth. The author, E.M.S. Namboodiripad questions what exactly is truth, and he comes to an understanding that truth, according to Gandhi, has always been subjective. That what Gandhi knows or how he sees things over a period of time has changed. For example, let's take this discussion which he does with reference to World War. Gandhi actively supported the British during First World War, but his idea totally flips during Second World War. So all those changes only indicate that truth itself is subjective. I only have one advice when you read this book. Just keep it in mind. Do not have any preconceived notion that this is just a critique and this will be only just a left-sided perspective. Yes, it is true that he was a communist leader, but he has tried his level bit to dissect what exactly does Gandhiism mean and the personality who created that ideology. That's the end of today's review. Meet you in the next episode pretty soon. Bye for now.